Hello, viewers. This is Beyond the Headlines on DBM Television. Let's start with an update on the altercation between a Catholic priest and a primary school teacher in Anambra State. The Nigerian police force has officially summoned Reverend Father Jude Muokwe, who allegedly slapped, flogged, and assaulted a 50-year-old widow over a salary dispute. It was reported that a petition was submitted against him by the council to Mrs. Ikora. Mrs. Ikora is the widow. The petition was submitted last week. On Monday, the Inspector General of Police was briefed about the case, which prompted the involvement of the Acting Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 13 Upo from Abuja. The invitation is expected to allow Father Jude to present his own account of the case, of the altercation, to the authorities with the aim of resolving the case peacefully and ensuring that justice is served. Meanwhile, the headmaster of Angel Primary School, where the incident occurred, has spoken out. In a video circulating on social media, the headmaster, whose name remains undisclosed, shared his account of the events. Let me give you some time to watch the story. Take a look.
All I got done people now by my office. I go around the classes. The man on well, I don't know or something else. They were normal on class. If I prevent them every day, so exactly on that day, MS Assembly, question all teachers.
Like I said, I am the head of Angel Primary School. Something happened on Wednesday. Usually when I come to school in the morning, I go around the classes to check teachers who are not in class. I do this without waiting for the priest. This is what I do every day. So on the fateful day, after the assembly, first lessons were supposed to be ongoing. I went to the nursery section, but no teacher was in sight. You know that nursery kids are usually tender. If you abandon them, they will wound one another. Then I came and asked why the teachers were not in class to teach their first lessons of the day. Then one of them picked courage and told me that the teachers had been called upon upstairs. When I asked who had called them, the teacher mentioned Mrs. Ikora. I then became displeased with her and corrected that the meeting shouldn't have been held without the knowledge of the headmaster or the priest. Then I went to the priest to tell him what I had discovered that morning, when teachers were supposed to be having their first lessons with the kids. But they left their duties. Then the priest went with a cane to the venue of the meeting and saw things for himself. If the meeting had been held during break time, there would not have been any problem. As the priest raised the cane while asking her why she had called the meeting, she quickly threatened to retaliate if he used the cane on her. Statements
one of the teachers and this is very early in the morning, first period in the morning that I'm going to. In fact, not this meeting, during the break period. I will not get paid. Now, just let's look at the stress. Question acquisition on how you use Father, wait to be. When I said, can you go to this morning? Can you go? I was better than that. Yeah. No one is there to make it. I was like, oh, yeah. You might wait for you might come from them. They say, so when I wasn't comfortable with that statement. Anyways, During the process,
Like hers are usually provocative. The priest, not comfortable with her threat, flogged her. But she retaliated immediately and did the same thing to him. In the course of this, she also wounded me. Look at the bruises on my hand. As a result of this wound, I did not attend work the following day, but went to a hospital. The priest phoned me, and I told him I was in the hospital. Throughout the night, I could not sleep. Since I started working here, I have not seen such a thing that a teacher could be bold enough to challenge a priest to a fight.
Very sad indeed. Jude Muokwe, a public affairs researcher, has attempted to draw a contrast between the case of the Catholic priest and the school teacher on one hand, and then that of Nnamdi Azikiwe University lecturer and the student on the other hand. Recall that last week, Precious, a third-year student in the History and International Relations Department, allegedly assaulted Dr. Jude Muokwe, a lecturer in the Theatre Arts and Film Studies. The conflict arose when he attempted to confiscate her phone, accusing her of insulting him and recording him for a TikTok video. In the course of the quarrel, the student went ballistic, dragging the lecturer by his shirt, but the man remained still with calmness and composure. In a social media post titled Caculus non facit monaco, a Latin phrase which means the cow does not make the monk, made on Tuesday, Mr. Muokwe, the researcher, juxtaposed the priest with the lecturer in an attempt to send an ironic message to the public. He said, and I quote, "Who is the gentleman here? Who is well-trained? Who is more refined? Who is really Christ-like? Who will you accept his teachings or gospel if two of them are carrying Bible? After many years of training in the seminary and 21 years in priesthood, yet no discipline. At the point when you're supposed to shine your light, you failed. You proudly fought in front of the pupils you're supposed to teach. You disgraced an old woman and beat the hell out of her. Fade Chirechi. Clap for yourself. Super de Nwachukwu. This is scandalous. A priest fighting a grandmother, flogging and beating her in public place. What message have you passed to the pupils, most of whom are still below 3 years of age, in that school watching you flog their grandma? Father Nano, do you know the psychological implications of this singular act in the lives of those pupils? They won't forget it. Their brains have captured that scenario. It will take serious reorientation program to correct it. These are pupils the diocese are trying to shape and form into better Catholics. Then, you became an agent for negative formation. I feel for Bishop Paulinus Ezokafo in this difficult time. I will be praying for our bishop. I know he is a no-nonsense man. Instead of this father to correct the error, he went to start creating content inside the church, giving the headmaster a microphone inside a dedicated church to support him, so he can justify he has behaved like a non-priest. Even in this support, the headmaster implicated you, father. You raised your cane against the old woman, and she shouted that you should not flog her. Still, you went on to flog her. Now, other commentators who were sympathetic with you also told negative stories that the woman was the one that slapped you, slapped the catechist, beat two men, etc., before you went and brought your cane. But in the account the catechist gave, even as he tried to exonerate you, he never mentioned that the woman did all those things people were saying against her. But do you know what? This woman's own account has been the same, unchanged and unmanipulated. I also called some of the teachers. Their own accounts were straight, the same, and unmanipulated. But the accounts told by those trying to pity the priest have been changing from slapping to flogging, flogging to beating, etc. Truth cannot be hidden. You know a true man of God in this kind of situation. When a supposed man of God starts creating content, allegedly changing accounts, meeting people to speak on his behalf, painting issues, then fear such a person. One priest from Onitsha Archdiocese wrote yesterday that Father Jude Muokwe should quechiri. Imagine, you did wrong. Admit and find a way to redeem the image of the church, and not by telling lies and creating content. Have you forgotten that the people of God see you as Christ? That's why after laboring in their various farms, they still carry money and dash you, an adult. They carry food and dash you, an adult. As an adult you are. They provide you with car. Most of them don't even have their own cars. Give you accommodations. Most of them don't even have their own houses. Feed you, provide for your every needs, yet you didn't notice that they did all these things for you because they see you as Jesus. If you claim to be a human being who can fight, why not go and rent your own house, feed yourself, and start farming like every other human being do? After ordination, everybody, including your parents, started calling you father, yet you didn't realize that a whole lot is expected of you. If a rector can expel a seminarian for fighting, then think of the consequences it should attract when done by a priest who is already 21 years in the ministry. See, the priest failed entirely, and the church should be very quick in disciplining him. Can't Father Jude Muokwe learn from the UNIZIK lecturer? What did the UNIZIK lecturer do in time of provocation? He simply showed the world that how to control anger. He was calm and smiling. He showed us that he is well trained. What did Father Jude Muokwe do when he was angry? He forgot that he eats free food. He forgot that he was given free accommodation. He forgot everything he was taught in the seminary. He started beating a grandmother in front of the pupils. Compare the actions of these two actors, Dr. Chukwudi of UNIZIK and Father Jude of MSP. Tell me who should be carrying Bible to preach Jesus. Yet, some people who are priests are not ashamed of themselves to defend Father Jude. Tofiakwa. C. The diocese should please close this school, punish this priest, and enter into full moral reorientation of the pupils in that school. The pupils have been publicly scandalized by this very act. Father's action is against what the church teaches. Yes, the church should redeem her image, make maka no fuakarutan mano ozuorono. Ekenekwamuno. You're watching Beyond the Headlines on DDM Television. If you love more of these, do not hesitate to hit the like button, make your comments, share this video, and then subscribe to the Diaspora Digital Media. I am Ultra saying, otherwise, Tosh Raphael. See you next time. Bye-bye.